Folks, everyone, happy Monday to you all. Well, I'm just going to take you for a wee walk around my home since it's raining so hard outside. I'm just sat here in my sitting room. So I'm just going to take you for a walk around the house and have a chat about how I became one of nature, how I became a gardener, how I became so enthralled in nature and the world of caretaking nature. So let me get up here and show you. Okay. So I can remember being a very, very, very young kid. And I just, oh, look, see, this is how much rain we're getting. I had to bring my cacti in. So that it doesn't die and drown, because you know they hate a lot of water. My little Harriopuntias. The birds were using that to make their nests this year. All the hair off my Harriopuntias. These are from Guerrero, Mexico. Anyway, I can remember being a very, very young kid in school, and I remember a lot of ivy growing around. Oh my, lots and lots of ivy. So what I would do is I would take a leaf off the ivy, and on my way home, and I had a microscope, a little wee tiny microscope. I probably had got it for Christmas maybe. But yeah, I had an infinity, so I would take the leaves home and I would look at them underneath the microscope. I would try to look at their cells, and I wondered, how they were made, and I would look at the cells underneath, and I would study them. So yeah, I had a lot of interests at very young age. I remember my my grandparents on both sides of my family were huge gardeners. My mother's mother, my Granny Violet, I can remember hearing stories about how she grew cherry tree in her backyard, in her back garden, and she grew tons and tons of rhubarb. And so those were all very cherished little memories. And then when I lived with my Granny Violet in my early teens, in the rest of my years, I can remember her just having a knack for taking a seed pod and just sticking it in the dirt, and things would grow. I was fascinated how she literally didn't seem like she did anything. She just stuck it in the ground and it would grow. My mother's father was like that. He grew tons of flowers in his garden, and he was a really great gardener too. My dad's side of the family, I grew up with them around lots and lots of big gardens, big gardens, and lots of peppers and tomatoes and onions and and garlic, lots of garlic, and tons of green stuff like Swiss chard and endive and spinach and rapini and all that. So yeah, I was really influenced at a very young age, and I had a guard when I was a very young kid. I remember my mother would take us to the store to shop, and we were allowed to get a sweetie of some kind, a chocolate or a whatever. And I always wanted a plant, and my mother would get me a plant. She would get me a plant, and I'd bring it home, and that's what I would put in my windowsill, and I would grow it. So yes, yes, yes. Even as a kid, instead of sweeties, I wanted plants. I spent most of my life here in Philadelphia, So, well, my actual grown years, I spent mostly here in Philadelphia, and I learned the value of space. I always said that, you know, space is very important here in Philadelphia, and there's not much ground, so I learned about potting and growing from pots and stuff like that. So that was always great for me. Before I came back to Philly, I went to Altoona, Pennsylvania, and I had a beautiful garden there. And then I loved working in the manure and the leaf mold and learning about pH balances and about the things that they need in order to grow. So then I came back to Philly and then I discovered space, like I said, and that even if you live in a very small place, you could still have a wonderful garden. I mean, even if you have a patio, you can still have a garden. All you need is pots. So, yes, I am here and I learned about my grow pots and I learned what a fabulous invention they were. And as you can see, I have it all outside in grow pots because my garden is only going to get better. And my next big garden will be with all of these. My potted babies come with me. So, that is my story and I'm sticking to it. I I love my gardening life. I love how much I've learned from my ancestors, from my grandparents, from my aunts. Oh my God. My Aunt Cindy was such a great teacher for certain foods and certain plants and everything. I mean, this was even her zygocactus. She gave me a cutting from over 20, probably 24 years ago. As you can see I'm still growing her zygocactus. So plant exchanges, plants, seeds, plants were always just very, very, very important to me and my family. But I love that I learned how to watch them. Not only did I get in the dirt with them, I watched every little move they made. What kind of spade did they use? How deep of a hole did they make? Oh, here's Roisin. Roisin's taking a nap. Yeah, what time of year to collect this or what time of year to sow this? I watched. As much as being in the soil, I watched them do what they were excellent at. So nature, gardening, and a respect for the land is definitely in my blood. I'm proud of it. So, that's my little speak for this morning. And I shall bid everybody a good day. Slán go fóill. And Roisin says, see you later too. Slán go fóill. Bye, 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 bye.